What is going on, you guys? It is Dame. Hold on. Today is a very different video. Today, we're doing a movie review for Morbius. Okay, I went to an early screening to go watch this movie, and I saw a bunch of people giving the reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. I think currently it has a 17% on Rotten Tomatoes. So people are really bashing this movie and I could tell you guys, like, this movie is mediocre. To me, it's mediocre. I don't hate this movie, but I don't like this movie. It's just in the middle. It's okay. This movie is, I feel like, it's forgettable in the superhero genre. It's predictable. The whole thing is predictable. There's no gas moment. When I went into this movie, I knew what was gonna happen. I knew what they were gonna set up, because I like my superhero movies. I don't know what to tell you. So we're gonna talk a bit more about it. So let's get into it. Let's start with the acting. The acting was okay. The only standout performance to me was Matt Thomas. The way he played his character, I thought it was great. He was the best part about this movie. Jared Leto, to me, he is an amazing actor. I'll give him credit for that. But when it comes to like the comic book genre, there hasn't been really much I've fallen in love with him for. In this, he was okay. He was a good actor. Like, I'll give him that. He's a really good, talented actor. But did I feel like that I cared or connected with him? No. I think I have to blame the script for that. But I'll get into the script later. Tyrese, he was another, his character was forgettable. Him and the cop, I guess they were just there for comedic humor. And their jokes were cringy at most. I did not laugh one time at any of the jokes in this movie. It was forgettable. It was just forgettable. Your actors are only as good as the script that they are given. That's just my opinion, okay? Let's move on. Plot, like I said earlier, it's predictable. It's a joke. I knew from beginning to end of how this movie was. I felt like I was watching Underworld, but a newer version of that movie. And I cannot stand that movie. I hate that movie. It is a joke, predictable, cheap. And again, predictable. I cannot stress how predictable this movie is. Okay? Everything, okay, in this movie. Directing. Kind of felt like there were some scenes I couldn't tell what was happening, or it was just bad lighting. Like, there were scenes, like action sequences, I couldn't tell what was happening during them, because I guess the lighting was bad, or the CGI was just bad. Well, like when Morbius was fighting, I'm sitting there, and when he's fighting in the sewers and all that, I'm sitting there like this. Okay, they're fighting. Something's happening. There's an action sequence. I could tell by the music. This is an action sequence. Boom. Okay. And like, I'd be like, okay, like, what happened? How was he hurt? Like, I couldn't tell what was happening, CGI. It was like, I've seen better CGI. There was a couple scenes in this movie, especially like during the fight sequences, I was like, okay, that could have used a lot more work. It was okay. One thing I do want to talk about, and a couple more things I want to talk about. I want to talk about the director of this movie. I don't know his name. Daniel Espinosa. Sorry if I'm butchering your name, but him and the studio, a week before the movie came out, were spoiling the movie. Okay? I know as fans, especially in the comic book genre, you're always looking forward to what's next, what's coming. And I know it's a writer's and a producer and actor's job when they're promoting the movie to like give crumbs, don't say none, but give little teases of what's maybe, what could, you know? And for him to straight out come out and spoil the whole movie, the whole plot, and what is to come, it's like, what's the purpose of going to see a movie if you're just gonna spoil everything? Mind you, you don't have to click on it and just ruin it for yourself. But at the same time, why give consumers, customers, fans that option? You want everybody to go see this movie, to support this movie, so you can make a sequel and another sequel and go from there. What's the purpose? Like, no one wins, right? That's what the director does, and so is the studio. They were tweeting about it on Instagram and Twitter and just spoiling the whole movie. Like, I know your movie's bad, but you still want people to go in to support it, so hopefully you can, you know, make some of your money back. You know what I'm talking about? Like, I don't get that. I don't understand that. You know, that really, like, ticked me off. What else? Another thing I gotta get on Sony about. The reason why I really don't care for this movie is the writers of this movie. The writers of this movie, sorry if I butcher your name, but Burke Sharpless and Matt Sazama. This, like, look at their track record, you know, no offense, but like, 𝐥𝐤𝐤𝐬, Gods of Egypt. Who heard of that movie? Trash. Listen, it got, what did it get? Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 15%, right? Gave it 15%, right? Dracula, Untold Story, they also did. Good Lord, 25% on Rotten Tomatoes, okay? And what else? You know, they did, the Burke dude did Power Rangers, okay? Power Rangers got, you know, got 51%. It got 51%. It's okay. It's okay. Guys, like Sony, like, I'm not trying to bash people who are trying to make it in the film industry, but damn, like, you got to look at people's track record, you know? And you know, everyone deserves a second chance, but good Lord, I didn't enjoy it. It was just lazy writing. And another thing I gotta get on Sony about. What was it about? When they promoted this movie, one of the things that got me really intrigued about this movie, from the first trailer that they premiered back in April 2020, okay, they had Michael Keaton as the Vulture appearing in this film. That was one thing that really stood out to me. And you use that as a marketing tool to bring people in this, you know, the shared universe. Michael Keaton's Vulture was not in this movie. The scene, like, I'll play the scene over this, but the scene that they promoted in the first trailer and other trailers of Michael Keaton and Jared Leto talking and conversating was not in this movie. That's false advertisement. The whole reason why I wanted to go was because Michael Keaton was in there, and I knew what was gonna come if Michael Keaton was in that movie. And for you to cut it out, I don't understand that. Why would you do that? You know what I mean? And you know, that's like false advertising. That's like if the Avengers movie is to happen, Captain America and Iron Man are in the trailers, but they're not in the movie. How would you feel? You feel ripped off. You'd be like, where are they? That's like Thanos being promoted in all the trailers and him not being in the movie. That's like the Guardians of the Galaxy being in all their trailers and then not being in the movie. I don't understand. I don't get that. You know, that was really stupid. It's really stupid. And my overall thoughts about this movie, I'm giving this movie a 4.9 out of 10. I don't care for this movie. And you know, the people who take the biggest out on this is Sony, because you guys had a big hit with Venom that did really well at the box office. and it was a okay, better film than this, both of them, and then you knocked it out of the park with Spider-Man No Way Home, and then you got this turd of a movie, this forgettable movie, basic movie, and I hope y'all do right, because I keep going on about Sony, but this movie was scheduled to come out in April. It was supposed to come out in 2020, but it got delayed because of COVID, which I completely understand. That would be the perfect time to go back into your movie. If this was the final cut that they were going to show back in 2020, Sony, you take a big L. If they sat on this and said, this is it, we're going to sit on it, we're happy with it, we're good to go, we'll just wait till the cases drop. If you did that, Sony, you take the biggest L ever. You had time to go back to your movie and say, hey, we don't know how it's going with COVID. How about we go back and we look at this movie and make it the best movie we can for the consumers. I don't know, whoever's idea it was to take Michael Keaton out of this movie. You take the biggest L, my dude. I don't know who thought of that, to take Michael Keaton, the Vulture, who was a great villain in Spider-Man Homecoming, take him out of the movie. I don't get that. Whose idea was that? I don't like it, and for this movie's forgettable, y'all. I keep rumbling on. This movie's forgettable, and I hope you guys, this movie, you don't have to go to the theater, go see it. You're not missing much. After credit scenes, Michael Keaton shows up. In the first one, there's a big crack in the sky. He shows up and shows up in a cell. Then he gets released, and then for some reason, I don't know, he shows up in Morbius's world, and he knew how to contact Morbius, and he got his Vulture suit, and all of a sudden he knows Spider-Man's behind all of this. The only thing that I look forward to is, which Spider-Man is it? Is it Tom Holland? Is it Andrew Garfield? Hopefully it's Tobey Maguire. Yeah, but it's predictable. They're setting up the Sinister Six to fight Spider-Man. Either to get the Sinister Six to get their own movie first, and then they fight Spider-Man. Okay, it's predictable, guys. Wait for this movie to come out on streaming, and just sit back and watch it at home. Okay. Wow, man. I've never seen a studio take a big W with Spider-Man being one of the highest grossing movies of all time and for the comic book genre, and then take a big L with their following project. I've never seen that. But again, guys, I give this movie a 4.9 out of 10. Yeah, man, it's forgettable. But did you guys like this movie? Did you hate this movie? Do you feel the same way I feel about this movie? Let me know down below. Leave a like, leave a comment, a nice one. Subscribe to the channel. If you guys like this series, I'm gonna continue this. Like next week, I'm going to an early screening of Sonic. I'm gonna go see Sonic next week, which should be, I'm hoping to be way better. Alright? But if you guys like this, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Dame the Reviewer, out. Peace, y'all. Movie was a tough watch.